Hey, my name's Caleb with Neighborhood Church, and we wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up about where we're going to be going this spring with our teaching. We're going to be walking through the Gospel of Mark and what we're going to be calling simply Jesus. And this is because Mark is the quickest, it's the most fast-paced, most simplified gospel in its focus on Jesus. So Mark has this kind of uncompromising, unrelenting focus on who Jesus is. And Scripture has this way of breathing life into us, of challenging us and confronting and correcting our thinking. And Mark does the same thing with showing us Jesus' compassion, Jesus' authority, the way Jesus confronts and challenges the Pharisees and Jesus' own disciples. So for instance, at the end of Mark chapter 6, we see this story where Jesus gets out of a boat and people immediately recognize who Jesus is, and they start running all over the region and bringing and gathering the sick to Jesus in the marketplace. So that wherever Jesus goes, whether the city, the countryside, or villages, there's people there, and they're imploring him to heal the sick. It says that whoever touched even the fringe of his garment was made well. But then in the very next story in Mark chapter 7, it says, but when the Pharisees were gathered to Jesus, what they do is they start critiquing and criticizing his disciples for the way they eat. And Jesus gives the Pharisees this backhanded compliment. He says, you have a fine way of rejecting the commandment of God in order to establish your own tradition. So Mark wants us to be amazed, to have the same desire to run to Jesus. And he wants us to be confronted and challenged by Jesus in the same way. So I really encourage you, start reading the Gospel of Mark and join us as we walk through the Gospel of Mark over the 16 weeks leading up to Easter and just looking at simply Jesus.